Hi, everybody. Welcome back. This one is going to be a solo mission. My co-host, co-pilot, is out on a travel trip, doing a favor for someone. So I'll be doing this one alone, solo. But I think it might be a better idea if I do, only because hopefully you get the message and we won't need to banter and tear it up and chew it up and spit it out. So this episode is going to be about how to know when to say I love you. So let's begin. Saying I love you feels like one of those magic milestones in a relationship. It's certainly no guarantee of future relationship happiness or success, but for most men, it's a sign of significant feelings toward you, to say the least. The words mean more to some men than others, of course, but it's safe to say for many, they are a sign of a real commitment. Like when you decide to move in together, or when he wants you to meet his family, or for the first time he makes you breakfast after sex. Oh, it shows you've leveled up in your relationship. If your man doesn't seem close to uttering those words, and you're already some way down the line, you probably feel annoyed right now. Or maybe just anxious because you're ready to say them yourself. Maybe not, but you might be. But you don't want to make the leap to say them if he's not there with you. I get that. I really do. So who says it first? In general, I think it's always nice that the guy makes the first move, saying, I love you. It gives you a way of knowing where you stand in his affections, and it's an important moment when a guy signals his intention to move to saying, I love you. It gives you a way of knowing where you stand in his affections again, and it's an important moment when a guy signals things that he wants to move forward with a feeling that he has. What if he shows loving, kind, caring behavior, but just won't let the damn words come out of his mouth? Well, I guess it could mean two things. He could be a guy who struggles with affection, and there are guys that do struggle with affection. There are women who struggle with affection. All right, let's go a step further. There are people who struggle with affection. Or maybe number two, he's just not ready for a bigger commitment and doesn't want to create bigger expectations with you. The first of these, you have a good amount of control over. So let's deal with that first one. Some guys are just more cautious than others. Saying I love you feels like a big step, and he's scared to take it. It doesn't mean he doesn't want you and he doesn't want to take the step. And it isn't always a sign of a lack of a commitment. It's a scary thing for him. There, of course, are other guys who simply aren't adept at expressing feelings in that way or this way. With this type of guy, you have to give him certainty. You can tell he's on the verge of saying he loves you when he starts saying phrases like, I care about you so much. I adore you. I'm so into you. I'm crazy about you. You're one of the most special people in my life. You make me so happy. I never met anyone like you. This already tells you he's feeling close to love, if not feeling it already. If he's saying things, he's like this, he's probably near to it, but he's holding himself back for whatever the reason. You need to show him it's okay. It's safe to say it. Of course, you're not going to laugh at him or go, oh, gosh, really? When somebody says that to you, ooh, that can tear a shred out of your heart. You should never rush a guy, though. But you can show him that you'd be happy for him to express his feelings of love. So here's what you say. This is back to him. I feel so close to you. You're so special to me. But it's hard for me to know if you feel the same way about me that I do about you. I want to express the way I feel, but I don't want to feel alone in saying it. Are there things you want to say sometimes that you hold yourself back from? Or is that just me? If he says yes, there are, then ask him, what makes you scared to say how you feel? Or you can go sweet with it and say, I just want you to know that whatever you want to say, those things, or whenever you want to say them, I'll have a big smile on my face. Now you've shown him that you have strong feelings for him, and it's safe for him to speak on his own. At this point, you must not push him any further, though. He may come around in a week and say it, or maybe even a month, but don't push him. A key idea may be because you'll only make him feel observed and under pressure, which will make him shrink even more away from saying it. You can nudge him, but he still needs to feel like it's his own spontaneous decision. Guys need that sometimes, Show that it's okay for him to be vulnerable. As part of the bigger conversation in getting a guy to open up with his feelings more, it's important to provide a safe environment where you encourage moments of openness. If he says, you made me smile today, you can say, oh, I love that. It feels so good. You make me smile too. When else do I make you smile? In this way, you encourage him to keep going. You need to make him better at saying how he feels about you. If he says, you look great one morning when you wake up, say to him, I really love it when you tell me I look good in the morning. It makes me feel so sexy. Think of the road to expressing feelings as a series of conversations that are built. Instead of one single relationship-defining moment, like it is in the movies, what if he still won't say it? If a guy still won't tell you he loves you, after a month or two, it's time to be more direct. You have to face the second possibility we talked about above, that a guy may not be saying he loves you because he doesn't want to invest too much in the relationship. And that is a possibility. I mean, everybody is hedgy about throwing all their chips and everything on the table in an investment, and is generally not recommended anyway. So if they give you 20%, you give them 20%, and so on and so forth up the ladder. So, this means he may not see it going anywhere, your relationship. And you are better confronting him now than just ignoring it. So here's something else you can say. Okay? So I have a better understanding of where you've headed, or where you're headed. You're saying this to him now. I'd like to share something that's been on my mind. We have such memorable, special moments together, and during those moments, I find myself saying, I love you, in my head. I haven't heard those 3 words come out of your mouth, even though I can feel it when we're around each other. Could you help me understand why? Are you scared? If so, what are you afraid of? You're an incredible man, And with anyone else, I'd walk away if I hadn't heard those 3 words. But I care about you and about us, and I want this to work. Could you let me in and help me understand? He may come back with something, and it may be something like this. I have an amazing time with you, but I don't see why it's so important that we say that. They're just words. Isn't it more important how much we get on when we spend time together? To which you can then respond with, yeah, you're right. I completely understand where you are coming from, but because I value actions more than words, and I understand that, but I also want to be with someone who is willing and able to express their feelings for me. I think it's really attractive when 2 people can share the feelings that they have for each other. Their actions might say it as well, but it doesn't mean the words are meaningless. I would understand if you said, I don't feel that way. That's different. But if you feel it then, there are times where it would be really beautiful to hear. I think you're an incredible man. And when I'm around you, I feel a real connection. But that doesn't mean I can't just have that feeling on my own. If you're scared, tell me why. We'll talk about it. We will. Or if you don't feel it, I'd rather you be honest with me and tell me about it. Excuse me. So here's something of an idea. You need to make sure that you come at this from a position of strength. You are not begging him to love you back. Absolutely not. You are communicating, this is how I feel, and if you don't have these feelings too, then I could be gone from your life, because I won't spend it with a man who doesn't feel the same as I do. Remind him that it's okay if he doesn't feel that way, but make it clear that you won't be around forever either. If you don't feel the same way, then tell me. The feeling's only fun if we both have it. And if you don't feel it too, I'm a big girl, I can handle it. And I know I'll find someone who does feel that way. So I won't settle for less. If after a month more, he still doesn't say it, you can gradually back away with the knowledge that you made yourself clear. And that's important. As long as you know you made your argument clear and you made yourself clear. Because he will now start to feel scared at the possibility of losing you. And think to himself, oh shit, what am I doing? I could lose her. I could lose her. If he's been dragging his heels, there's a much better chance he'll come around and say he loves you. If he doesn't, you know that this guy doesn't really want to invest fully in the relationship. And you can put some distance between you, knowing that he's not looking for something serious. Have the first conversation, then wait and see what happens. It may be appropriate to have this conversation after 3 months, 6 months, or longer, depending on you and your man's beliefs about how long it takes to decide you love someone. My experience is that after a year, it still hasn't been broached. There's something bigger at play here. Whether it's the way he was raised, which may come up in the conversation, or that he doesn't want commitment. And some people just don't want commitments. The second conversation can take place if there's been no progress in months after the first conversation. If it's there to make clear that you have a standard and won't be around forever while he decides. Above all, remember, relationships are a process by which you and he get to know each other's standards for openness and expression. This journey of learning each other's expectations is not a single conversation. It's a process. Thanks for joining me. I hope this clears some things up for you ladies and for you guys. Just remember, we're human. And love is important, hopefully to all of us. Do your best. Invest. But remember, not more than they do. Thanks. See you soon.